pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please join me as we pray. For God and freedom. Thank you for all the blessings you've already given us.
Amen.
Commissioner Hale,
Here.
Commissioner Castermont,
Here.
Commissioner Russo. Here. Commissioner Laubach. Here. Judge Mills.
Here. We do have a quorum and under citizens to be heard. Mary Ann, come on. Yeah.
I am here representing Neighborhood Watch, Fulton Neighborhood Watch, and we're having National Night Out next Tuesday, the 4th, week from tomorrow. And we'll have our hot dogs and potato salad and slaw and all the goodies. We will have a golf cart parade from Town Hall down to the center. And there will be a prize for the best decorated golf cart. So we would love to see you there. You're all invited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you say cop car or golf cart? Golf cart.
I'm
Golf
sorry?
cart, thank you.
Golf cart.
What's the date on that?
Next
Fourth.
Tuesday.
Fourth, okay.
And time, what, 6 o'clock? Mary Ann, is it 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock, I'm sorry. Always forget something, don't I?
Eh? Thank you. All right, John Danis. You want to wait for number 9? Okay, and you also? All right, Jack Wright.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. At the last Aransas County Commissioners Court meeting, the Navigation District had an item for this court to approve its tax rate, which is your legal responsibility. They cannot approve it themselves, no new revenue notwithstanding. What Harbor Master Keith Barrett attempted to present had no supporting documentation, including the year's prior results, nor the year-to-date numbers comparing actuals to budget. Commissioner Russo asked for those reports in advance, and they did not comply. That is their MO and has been for years. Didn't have time, didn't have enough people, didn't have sophisticated enough software, and my personal favorite, just ignore the request. The simplest off-the-shelf accounting system requires only one part-time employee keying in receivables, payables, and the checkbook function. That same employee can produce these reports with a simple keystroke. And they reside on the system until someone purposefully deletes them. All other governmental agencies in this community, Town of Fulton, City of Rockport, Aransas County Appraisal District, Aransas County and Aransas County Independent School District, produce monthly budget and financial reports for their elected officials and public to review and study. Every governmental agency, that is, except the Navigation District. There's a conscious decision, theirs is a conscious decision to keep this court and the public in the dark. What arrogance. They do not even produce an annual financial statement or a completed budget that the public is allowed to see. They could not or would not answer budget-related questions. Tommy Moore, who arrived late, lost his temper asking Commissioner Russo, "Who are you to question an elected official?" County Tax Assessor Anna Marshall expressed that she could not delay the approval of the tax rate or she'd be in violation of the law. You did approve the tax rate with the requirement that the district support their budget with analysis and actual results. Commissioner Lobach asked Mr. Barrett, if I had asked for their budget in comparison of actuals to plan with my FOIA request in February. His response was that I did not. You have before you, or you will have before you, my request and their answers. I did not get what I asked for. You will see that in my analysis that they have not at any time in the last 2.5 years revisited the budget to see if they're on target. Both generally accepted accounting principles and GASB, Government Accounting Standards Board's audit standards require the continual examination of actuals to budget, and yet they don't. Mr. Moore sent Commissioner Russo 3 documents since the last meeting, along with a nasty email. One was from their attorney, presumably to justify the use of maintenance and operations money for capital improvements. The letter says a lot. It zigs, it zags, and it has more switchbacks than a Rocky Mountain dirt road. But what it doesn't say is that ad valorem tax can be used for capital improvements because it is illegal to do so. And yet, the second document was a letter from Richard Bianchi to David Brooks. The third document is Attorney David Brooks's answer. Commissioner Moore sent the Brooks letter presumably because in it, it says the navigation district does not have to provide this court with a budget as per the water code. Well, that may be true or may not, but there's a second Brooks letter that this court possesses that says you are not required to approve their ad valorem tax request. Based upon their hide and seek mentality, I suggest that you consider just that. Cut them off next year when presented with the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? We have a presentation, of Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Office, and the reading of a proclamation P09/2022 proclaiming October 2nd and 8th, 2022 National 4-H Week, celebrating the opportunity for all Aransas County 4-H ambassadors, Texas A&M Extension agents. Come on. Read that.
All right.
Let's present
This
it.
is a National 4-H Week proclamation celebrating opportunity for all. Whereas the County of Aransas is proud to honor the 4-H Youth Development Program of the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service for 115 years of providing experience-based education to youngsters throughout the Lone Star State. And whereas this admirable program, which seeks to provide a learning experience for the whole child, including head, heart, hands, and health, helps young Texans to acquire knowledge, develop life skills, and form attitudes to enable them to become self-directed, productive, and contributing members of our society. And whereas it's more than 550,000 urban, suburban, and rural youth participants, ranging in age from 8 to 19, hail from diverse ethnic and socioeconomic backgrounds and truly represent a cross-section of the state. And whereas the program undoubtedly could not have achieved the success that it has today, were it not for the service of its more than 22,000 volunteers who have given generously of their time, talents, energies, and resources to the youth of Texas. And whereas throughout its proud history, the 4-H program has developed positive role models for countless Texans, and through its innovative and inspiring programs, continues to build character and to instill the values that have made our state strong and great. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the County of Aransas hereby designates October 2nd through 8th, 2022 as National 4-H Week in Texas, and commend the 4-H Youth Development Program of the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service and the many men and women who have made the program a success.
Thank you. We will approve this later on. All right, come on up.
We wanted to come by and thank the court today for their generous support of our 4-H youth. And we do have 3 of them here with us today, 2 ambassadors and 1 just regular 4-H club member. And I wanted them to introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about what they do in 4-H and, so forth. So go ahead, Maddie.
Hi, I'm Maddie Terhune, and I am a senior in high school this year. I do a lot of 4-H projects such as the homemaking, archery, dog training, consumer decision-making contests, sewing. Yeah.
It's quite a lot.
Hello, my name is Connor Hale. I have been in 4-H for about 4 years now. This year I'm doing pretty much just turkeys, but in the past I've done things like rabbits and chickens.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is McKenna McPherson. I do goats and I used to do rabbits and I do small bore rifle.
Great.
And speaking of the 22,000 volunteers, we also have a couple of our project volunteers here, Randy McPherson, our shooting sports leader, and Danielle Hale, our livestock mentor.
Thank you. We're real proud of the 4-H club and what they do in this community. Thank you very much. All right, consent agenda.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda and maybe the seeker approve it when I get up and make the presentation too. I second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo. Aye. Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. The Seafair, anybody from Seafair? Oh,
Yeah.
there he is. Come on up, Carl.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. I thought there was a proclamation that was going to be read.
Do you want to?
It's going to be read. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Well, this is the next item.
This is Joint Proclamation JP 08/2022. Whereas Rockport Fulton Seafair is celebrating its 47th year and remains a highly anticipated annual self-sustaining nonprofit event held on Columbus Day weekend, organized and executed by volunteers from our community and the staff of the Rockport Fulton Area Chamber of Commerce. And whereas Rockport Fulton Seafair organizers have created an event not only for the residents and guests of our community, but also for visitors coming to the area to experience the celebration of the sea. And whereas Rockport Fulton Seafair provides many nonprofit organizations the opportunity to gather increased support for local worthwhile projects. And whereas Rockport Fulton Seafair is held during the fall season, the most attractive season of the year on the coast, when the food is great, the fish are biting, bays are calm, and the breezes are mild, and everyone in town is smiling. Whereas the Commissioners Court of Aransas County, the City of Rockport, the Town of Fulton, and the Aransas County Navigation District wishes to endorse and support the Chamber of Commerce and Bay Blazers in promoting and participating in the annual Seafair Festival and the opening ceremony and official ribbon cutting to be held on Friday, October 2nd, 2022 at 4:30 p.m. Now therefore we, C.H. Burt Mills Jr., Aransas County Judge, Tim J. Rowe, Mayor of the City of Rockport, Kelly Cole, Mayor of the Town of Fulton, and Malcolm Decow, Chairman of the Aransas County Navigation District, do hereby recognize the Rockport Fulton Seafair Committee, Rockport Fulton Area Chamber of Commerce, and their many dedicated volunteers for their work on behalf of and support of the community, and do hereby proclaim October 7th, 8th, and 9th as 47th Annual Rockport Fulton Seafair Festival. and encourage our citizens to come celebrate the sea, enjoy the festivities, see the many wonders of the seaside community, and share a weekend of fun and feasting.
Thank you. We'll let Carl make his presentation first.
Thank you all very much for supporting the Seafair. I've been involved with it for about 7 or 8 years. It's going to be one of the best this year. I'm sure they say that every year, but last year we did not end up having a carnival, if you might remember that. We're going to have a carnival back. It's going to be a new carnival, so that'll be fun. One of the things I'm really excited about, they were just talking about the opening ceremony, and I hope that y'all elected officials can attend. There's going to be an F-18 flyover, which I've never seen that happen at the Seafair. On Saturday, the Coast Guard, unless they have an emergency or something, is going to do the rescue diver presentation again, where they fly their helicopter over the bay and drop someone out of it. And, you know, we're going to have some great music. If you can volunteer, we could still use some volunteers and some hands out there, but otherwise get your tickets and come out and have a good time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's going to be fun. All right, do I have a motion?
I move to approve joint proclamation JP 082022 proclaiming October 7th through 9th, 2022 as the 47th annual Rockport Fulton Seafair Festival.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Commissioner Laubach. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Unanimous. Item number 4.
Did we vote on the consent agenda?
Yes. Item number 4.
I move to approve proclamation B 092022 proclaiming October the 2nd through the 8th, 2022 as National 4-H Week, celebrating opportunity for all.
I second that.
Motion made, seconded. Commissioner Russo. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline, Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Unanimous. Item number 5.
Discuss and approve or disapprove conceptual plans for Robert Gross for a condominium development proposed at 3725 Loop 1781.
I'll second that.
Motion made, seconded. Commissioner Cheney. Any discussion?
Do we?
Ted, are you online?
David.
And David's here.
Yes.
David, talk to us.
All right, this is a concept plan for a lot on 1781. They're going to develop it as a condominium development, small cottage type houses, one road going in and turning it back out. Any questions?
So David, they're freestanding cottages, but they're still considered condominium?
They're freestanding houses. He's going to sell them as condominiums, meaning they'll sell the building and the property will belong to the HOA or the property owner, however it's set up.
I had questions more about one of the other conceptual plans for today, but it might apply to this one too. So I'll just ask now. People were asking me what the county's role is in deciding how dense the development can be, how small the lots can be. If
So
this has got municipal water, do we really have limitations on lot size?
This is one lot, right? That's why they're doing this as condominiums. Counties do not have density authority. I mean, that's state statute. This is, I don't know, 3, 6, 9, probably 15 or so units.
So essentially, the only input we'd have into a density issue is if there were a septic tank application. If there's not, then we leave it to the landowner to decide.
Yes, and that's not exactly right either. State law says that if you have water and septic, then a half acre is the smallest lot you can build. This is one lot, and so it is certainly bigger than the half acre.
Will it be septic or will it be municipal?
I think it's septic, isn't it?
I think it
Isn't
is
that what
septic.
OSSF
So,
means?
yeah,
So are they, is it like a shared septic or
right. And
central?
And there's no lot lines that it's crossing, so that's legal as long as the septic is designed to handle the amount of structures that they have.
Okay.
This is one lot, so that it meets the requirement of hitting a public road.
Correct,
And we're not going to be, this is a private driveway, we're not going to be
correct.
responsible. Does it have enough room for a fire truck to come in?
Yes.
David, in looking at the conceptuals or the Google Earth, whatever, it doesn't appear they needed a tree survey.
I don't think there's any trees out there.
Yeah, it looks like there might have been one. So,
Okay.
okay,
And this is conceptual, if there's more trees than we think, then we'll catch that in the preliminaries.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye.
I move to approve the final plat for the Ocean Reef Subdivision Planned Unit Development Unit 2.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Russo. Discussion?
I just want to mention that David and I drove this property a couple of months ago, and I visited with him, and the drainage issue that they thought they might have had been addressed and improved, and that the system is working real well now, right, David?
Correct.
Okay, great, thank you.
Here, this is the one I actually got the density question about. Now, the person who asked me was under the impression it was covered by the city's comprehensive plan, which I gather it's not, because it's in the ETJ, not in the city limits.
Correct.
The, our input into density again would be triggered only if it was, each lot had its own septic, but I gather they won't. Will
They
have
they
municipal?
won't. Yeah, this has public sewer
Right.
and public water.
David, I can't hear you.
This has public sewer and public water.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
I move to approve obtaining preliminary approval for abandoning the alleyway of block 24.
We're on
I'm
number
sorry.
seven.
Number 7.
Number 7, I move to approve authorizing county staff to apply for funding from the Resilient Communities Program to develop a watershed management plan for the Tule Creek watershed.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Russo. Any discussion?
I just want to reiterate that we have no match required on this if
Correct.
we're awarded a grant from them.
Correct.
And what we're looking at is about $100,000.
I think the staff memo said it could be up to 300, but we're planning only to shoot for 100. Is that?
At this time, we're still working on what we're going to be asking for, and that number could change, but
So this is a portion of what we'll ultimately ask for, perhaps,
this is,
or is this going to be a separate?
this is a planning document for the entire watershed. Only a portion of it is in the county. I've talked to Commissioners Court about Tule watershed previously, and we've talked in a stormwater committee about this grant specifically, and that was approved by stormwater, which, included all the entities that would be involved. Or they're approved by their representatives, not necessarily the entity.
Who will write this grant, David?
We'll do it in-house best we can and hopefully get some editing help at some point.
Okay,
Have you written grants, Commissioner?
proved and edited them.
Are you volunteering? Did I understand that correctly?
We'll visit.
All right, any further discussion? If not, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
I move to approve obtaining preliminary approval for abandoning the alleyway of Block 24 of the Bellevue addition and abandoning a portion of Elizabeth Street between Block 24 and Block 29, also in the Bellevue addition.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, Commissioner Casterline. Discussion.
The complete block is owned by one person. We're suggesting to abandon the alleyway and the streets in that area. There, a lot of the Elizabeth Street has already been abandoned. And there's some other issues that we have in there that we need to kind of clean up. There might even be some houses on some of the road right of ways that actually have never been opened in there.
Any further discussion? If not, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Unanimous.
I'm sorry, I had one question on this, won't take my vote. Did I understand that part of Elizabeth Street is in this motion? Okay, thank you. Oh, yes, okay.
All right, item number 9.
Discussion on possible solutions for drainage problems along Allen M. Parks Drive, but not an action item.
All right, let's discuss. Come on up, Mr. Go ahead and
Danos.
introduce yourself. Address, please.
John Danos, 518 Rattlesnake Point Road. My concern is we've had drainage issues out there for years and spoke with Ms. Russo and David Reed. And I'm trying to see where we sit with plans because I know there's a new development being told that drainage is going to go one direction versus our direction. Just trying to see where we sit.
All right,
Thank you.
David, you want to enlighten us a little bit? I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, I just piggybacking off of what John said, there's some.
Your name and address, sir.
Oh, sorry, Chris Horn, 149 Allen M. Parks. Yeah, piggybacking off of what John said, there are some concerns relative to the drainage. It's kind of overwhelmed as it is, being the way that it was originally engineered and designed. It kind of goes uphill to drain off instead of towards Pete's. I think it's Pete's Bay. And the thing about it is now that they're putting in this development, and I know that it's not on the agenda, but it actually will affect and increase the amount of water that's going to flow into our drainage, unless there's something that can be done before that. I was reassured by Mr. Reed that the engineering plans dictate that the water is supposed to be pitched towards the bin. However, if they're at any stage of completion with their grading, just the last 2 days, we've had some morning showers, less than an inch of rain, and we've got gathered water all the way up against Rattlesnake Point and all the way through the middle, where their lower levels are. My concern is that when this gets built up to a certain extent, and it's already been built up about 2.5 feet, what it's going to do is going to create a watershed, and then it's going to overwhelm the drainage there on Rattlesnake. Because that development is actually above the grade of the road. The concern is that it was probably filled in a wetland because my neighbor actually mowed that area there for about 15 years. And there was months at a time where he could not actually mow that land because it would rain 2 or 3 inches. The consideration that I have is whether or not we're going to impede water or impound water, and it's going to put Rattlesnake underwater in the event of we have semi-yearly 12 inches, 10 inches, 5 inches drop. And we've got thousands of people that live out there. What if we can't evacuate? On top of that, you're about to put grant money on that road. And that road, if it stays saturated underneath it, you're going to have the same problem that you have right now. And you just wasted all your grant money to fix that road. So that's my concern. But like I said, David said that the engineer's plans are that the water is supposed to pitch to the bin. I just wonder who in the government is, or in our county is overseeing that. And to my understanding, there is nobody in our county overseeing it. It's just the engineer on an honor system because of their code of ethics. And that worries me because, I mean, it's going to be y'all's problem. Do you really want a developer to come in and make a problem for you for the future. I know that every commissioner here has ran on fixing things, but we're in a situation right now where we have the opportunity to do an ounce of prevention instead of a pound of cure. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I-
Mr. Reed.
Okay, so there's a couple of issues, I guess, that we're talking about. One is Allen Parks. Let me start with that. Allen Parks, the ditches drain back towards the east to a large channel and drainage structure we have that puts the water into the canal. We've recently got a easement off of Rattlesnake Point Road that goes into the other end of that canal, right where Allen Parks and tees with Rattlesnake. Rattlesnake, as you know, we have a grant to do that, and drainage is going to be part of that, or is part of that project. The structure under Allen Parks will be improved and make sure that that water flows into that easement that we have. Probably at some point that water did go towards Copano. We never had an easement to drain it that way. That was done long before I was here. I mean, I don't know. Do you remember, Bubba?
I mean,
years ago.
I spent a lot of time on all
Yeah.
of that
The,
property out there.
yeah,
But I don't ever remember a drainage ditch.
yeah. So at the big bend on Rattlesnake, there's going to be a drainage structure that takes the water from Rattlesnake into the development and through their system of channels and ponds. While it looks like that property is sloped back towards the road, at some point they're going to have roads in there that will carry that water north or
Through there.
south.
Ditches or roads?
It's going to be a V road that will carry the water. And so that stops the water from continuing into Rattlesnake. It will be drained one way, either north or south, depending on where it is. The back of those lots will drain into Rattlesnake, but that water will be diverted or continue down the ditch and into that structure that they're putting and back into the developer's drainage system. I've looked at the drainage plans. They've been approved by us. We do not have the staff to look at every detail of a project like that, especially a big project. I know he's worried that somebody's going to build something that doesn't match the engineer's plans. I think that's unlikely. If something does happen and they don't build it the way they said they're going to build it, the one thing that we do have is to withhold power to that subdivision. We've done that in the past.
David, when the road is redone, and I don't know that a lot of people realize this, but when the road is redone, the banked curve at the end of Rattlesnake Point Road, isn't it to be taken out?
It is.
Turned into a stop sign, so that basically hill that probably now blocks some water flow will be taken out and possibly will enhance the drainage going into some of those drainage. And my understanding that you, either the developer or you, after it's done, that as Rattlesnake Point Road goes on around and out to Rattlesnake Point Road, that ditch will be cleaned.
Yeah, there's going to be ditches on both sides of Rattlesnake Point Road.
So you have one point of leverage, which is to withhold power after the drainage is complete. If you go out and look at it and don't believe it matches the plans. If we
Yes.
pass that one up, is there any depth to our defense, or is that our last chance?
Well, that is our last chance, but let me say, a contractor hires an engineer to build them a drainage plan. They're going to follow that drainage plan. They're not going to do something different for some reason. I mean, they had an engineer for a reason. They didn't hire the engineer just to make them themselves look good. They hired the engineer to solve this kind of problem. They're going to build it the way it's drawn.
I guess I just bring up the timing because it means it's that much more crucial that if we're going to check to see if the plans got followed, we've got to do it before the power goes in, because that's sort of our last chance.
Right.
Brandy Carl is here, and I believe she was an engineer on the plan. Do you have something that you would like to add to this? Thank you, David.
I guess I'll address the wetlands first. Of course, we had a wetlands delineation done by an environmental engineer. It was determined there were no wetlands on the site, except for obviously right next to the water. So all of that has been avoided. The whole project was designed to avoid the wetlands that were adjacent to the water. As far as the drainage, there's been 2 years worth of, or maybe longer, worth of coordination with David Reed's office and with Mott McDonald, who is designing Rattlesnake Point Road, the engineer that the county hired. We've coordinated all those points of, where the drainage from Rattlesnake Point Road enters the subdivision. We met with David very early on and said, basically, what do you want? Gave him the opportunity to request the drainage easements to come into our property. We're taking county drainage into the project, adding detention ponds for sediment, so that sediment can fall out before it goes out into the water. So, it's, I don't know what else could possibly do to work with the county and to make this beneficial for everybody. So the drainage master plan out there called for a very large drainage ditch to take water from Rattlesnake Point Road. That was all provided. The developer provided that the easement, big box culverts to increase the capacity. So it's.
So Brandy, you think once this is in, and David, question to you too, once this is in, this is actually going to help the drainage for Rattlesnake Point Road?
Sure.
The whole area over there, right?
Just that one ditch coming off where the corner is, it's a big capacity coming in and box culverts. It's like a 8 or 10 foot bottom, I think, on that big V ditch that comes in. And so it's a massive ditch, massive structure.
All right, thank you.
I put this on the agenda because some people in my precinct had talked to me about it. And I do want to especially thank David Reed and Brandy, because when I contacted them with concerns, they were very quick to contact the engineer to make sure that the silt fence and the other protective devices were installed properly, and if they were missing, reinstalled. And I know that there is a TCEQ investigation going on. I've talked with that investigator, and she said that when she finishes, she will give a copy of the report to David, and I've asked for that. But the timeline on that is 60 days from when she came and visited, and she came on September 8th. And she said, unless something else happens where she revisits the site, that's when we would have her report. But thank you for your efforts to monitor this and make sure that we're protecting the folks who are out there.
Can I ask Mr. Dennis and Mr. Horn, is your concern that the engineering plan is not adequate or that it won't be followed?
Correct.
Okay, so if it were built as planned, do you think it sounds reasonable?
I guess a good follow-up question to that information would be, in what stage of completion are we with the grade? Do we have that information? 90%? Okay. So when will we start to see the effects of this drainage ditch that's going to start pushing that water outward? Has that connection been made, or?
So in other words, right now we have the grading done, but maybe the ditches aren't in yet. Is that
right?
Most of the ditches are complete, but the streets carry a lot of that water. And the streets, because it's clay out there, we were able to install the utilities very quickly. But now that we've gotten to the paving part of the project. Any little bit of rain out there with that clay makes it very hard to bring concrete trucks in. And so the streets, once they get poured, is going to really help too. Because like David said, it's a concave section, so the water flows from the lots to the streets and then out into the detention
Randy,
pond.
Isn't the main tie-in, it seems to me like the building of Rattlesnake Point Road and taking that banked curve out, that's a big part of connecting Rattlesnake Point drainage to there, because you have that basically a hill there that is in the way, and the drainage that comes out appears to be right in that area to me.
That's true. That does provide a dam right now, and that whole intersection is kind of dammed up. So when they do knock that down, that'll help with bringing that corner into the development.
Now that work I think is still some months in the future. I mean, do you have a concern about there being a temporary flood risk until we can finish the development?
Sorry.
So Rattlesnake Point Road plans are out to bid right now. So it'll start soon. I mean, we got another month, I guess, before we
Completion, probably a couple months at least.
we'll start this year. It includes the portion of Allen Parks that's in the Rattlesnake right away.
And I guess what I'm just trying to kind of sort out in my mind, it sounds like we might have a temporary problem, and I'm trying to figure out how long, if the grading happens first and that exacerbates flooding, and then the drainage comes later, I'm just trying to understand how bad and how long.
The grading from the project doesn't exacerbate. It's not draining water back into. We're taking in anything that happens in the development is going out.
Is that part in controversy? Do you guys agree?
I guess the idea.
You need to come back up tonight.
To what extent or what percentage does it go inward that the land is going to be pitched back to Rattlesnake Point? 25%, 35%, 45%?
I mean, the very backs of the lots that front on Rattlesnake, because their lots, every lot is crowned. So you might have just.
But the roads themselves.
None of the roads are pitched to Rattlesnake. They all come in.
Have you been out there lately?
I was there last week.
Have you gone out there today? I'd invite you to go out there today, because you can see all the water's been gathered towards Rattlesnake Point. Water goes downhill. So if it's graded towards the bay, there should be no water there. Your black spots should be towards the water.
So as far as the road grading, I'll check that too, but I don't know that.
That's my only concern. I want this to go off without a hitch, because any kind of revenue we can bring into our county is good for us. Any kind of improvements we can bring into our county is good for us. I just want it to be done right. That's it. And I'm not a smart man. I'm not even, I just build houses. I put boards together for a living. So when I see a ground coming towards me, it's pretty easy for me to do. I wanted to know what state of completion we were with that water flowing downhill, because if you start concreting that's gonna run a lot of water really, really fast into our already exhausted drainage system. And then it's gonna be a county problem, because you're gonna have road problems, you're gonna have drainage problems, and to the extent of the way the Texas Water Code goes, 11806, you cannot impound water. And if that development impounds water, the county has grounds to sue the engineer and the developer. And if that's what it has to go to, look who's gonna be the burden's gonna fall on. It's not gonna fall on y'all live up there. It's gonna fall on us. It's gonna fall on my neighbors. That's my only concern. If it goes off without a hitch, fantastic. That's great. We need that. Rockport's a great area. We love people wanting to come.
So let me ask Brandy, do you think that property impounds water?
I do not.
Do you think it impounds water even today?
I don't. I mean,
It's certainly not planned to.
No, we did build up, obviously, we had to build up the property because it was lower. So you do have a transition from their road down to Rattlesnake as it sits. So there is some, we can't build our road up here and have Rattlesnake here and say, okay, figure it out. We have to do some transition, but the drainage is graded to come into the property. So, I'm not worried about, to me, it's doing nothing but improve the the situation out there.
I'm not really hearing anything we could be doing in the short term to address the next couple of months. I mean, we're just gonna have a tough couple of months while
My
we.
question for the whole thing is, I live on the corner of Allen and Parks and Rattlesnake. So I get the drainage from both sides and they don't slope properly. Where my property is, it goes uphill, downhill. And when we do have a lot of rain, the water does run off from that existing property across the street, which I understand you can't stop that. But when it goes into our ditches on our side of Rattlesnake, it doesn't flow because there's high sides, low sides. The drains are clogged up. And when they do transition, they come out and they mow. And when their tractors get stuck, they don't come back and re-slope. They just leave the ruts in there.
And those are all things we're about to address in
Right.
the grant project.
Right.
So
And I
I'm
didn't
really
know
trying to
that
kind
there
of
was
focus on.
Two different projects, one for Rattlesnake and one for Allen and Park. So that was my concern is what are we doing to get those to slope properly, waiting on the development to put in their portion of their drainage?
And I think the answer from the county engineer is we're doing the grant funded road project to address those issues. So we really just have the issue of from today through the time when the grant project is finished, which should be pretty soon.
All right, any further discussions? If not, we'll move on to item number 10.
I move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign a 5-year lease with the Texas Department of Public Safety for hangar tall at the Aransas County Airport.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, Commissioner Laubach.
Is it hangar tall or hangar H?
It's hangar tall, but it's also known as hangar H as far as the airport layout
Because the
plan.
agenda says hangar H.
Well, there was an amended agenda that went out that said tall.
Okay, well, when I was given it as H.
And, but like I say, it's called both, but I might recommend that you amend your motion to allow for the fact that we don't have the agreement back from the state yet. We're expecting it as early as this morning. I haven't seen Ms. Osteen, but I think the state just wanted to ask for more time to vacate the premises at the end of the lease.
So we just need to table this till next meeting.
I don't know if you need to table it. You might be able to approve it pending Jen okaying that part of it.
Because she'd approved the preliminary one,
Yes.
but we could just amend this to approve signing it based upon the final approval of the county
Because
attorney's
it might
office.
come.
Because I
15
think the
minutes after
start
we
date
leave
is
here.
October 1st.
Yeah, that's right. Mhm.
All right, motion amended,
Second the amendment.
second amendment. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 11.
Discuss, approve, or disapprove authorizing the county judge to sign an easement request from American Electric Power, AEP Texas Incorporated as required in order to bury and install permanent electrical services at hangar tall on the county airport.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, Commissioner Russo.
Not to be picky, but I think, even though the item reads that way, the motion has to be I'm moved to approve, because otherwise we're sort of too many options. That's what you intended, clearly, right, to move to approve it. In other words, we're not moving to discuss it, move or approve it or disapprove it. We're moving to approve it.
Yeah. move to approve.
Okay.
Have a second? Or did-
We have a second.
Russo, right?
Correct.
Commissioner? Okay. Any further discussions? If not, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 12.
All right. Move to approve the purchase of lots E5, H1, and H2 of the Goose Island Lake Estates and a subdivision in Aransas County, Texas, according to the map and plat recorded in volume 7, page 215 and 216, plat records of Aransas County, Texas, for $10 and other considerations payable at the time of closing.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any
Yep.
discussion?
If David can just confirm, I believe the staff memo confirmed, this is the these are some lots that the ACMUD, Aransas County Municipal Utility District, first purchased. They're basically essentially giving them to us, but they're keeping effluent easement so that they can continue to spray from the municipal plant.
Correct.
And we just would like to own them for flood control purposes, and they don't need title, they just need the easement.
Correct.
I just have one question. In the contract, it says the closing of the sale shall be on or before July 1st, 2022, or within 7 days after objections to title have been cured.
I think we'll have to refer to my attorney for that one.
Since she's not here.
So, so maybe we need to approve it subject to the date being moved up so that we're not already too late.
Right.
All right.
I'll move to amend it, and that way someone will second.
I'll second the amendment.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous.
I move to approve the August 2022 treasurer's report.
Second.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Castelline. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Sorry, Alma. Item 14.
I move to approve the 2023 environmental health fees.
I'll second.
Motion made.
And I'm
second.
online.
Okay, Valerie, I think one of them is changing. Is that the only one? There was one marked in yellow.
There should be two marked in yellow. One is a $25 fee for late fees for restaurants. So every month they'll accrue $25 for a late fee.
And right now
The
there's no
second-
late. fee at all? Or is
Right
it
now
there-
they have one late fee one time for the whole year.
Okay,
The second change is a 1 penny increase to the solid waste at the transfer station for both charge accounts and cash pay.
and that's to respond to some increases in your internal costs. for
Correct.
disposal in the landfill. To go back to the first one, it previously was 25 a year and we're making it 25 a month, or was it less per year?
It was 25 starting February 1st. So if their permit expires December 31st, so they have January to get their permit till the 31st with no fee. February 1, they incur that $25 late fee. It also applies for the whole year. So you can either get it February 1 or August with only $25 penalty.
Okay,
So I'm choosing to do that every month so they continue to come into compliance.
okay, thanks.
Valerie, just for information, how many pounds or tons of waste have we handled over the last 12 months period or the last reporting period?
Let me pull up my report one
How
second.
much are we doing out there?
How many tons per year?
Yeah, what's the most recent tons per year?
Okay, let me get my report one second.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
You have to hold on. She's looking it up.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to have it right now. Just
I don't
get it
know.
to us, would you?
Because we're
Okay,
curious what-
absolutely.
You don't sign that.
I know we do about 750 containers a year, so
Do you have a rough
we do
idea?
1.5 million
Did you say 1.5 million?
pounds.
Is that with the penny? I guess what I'm trying to find out is roughly how much money do you add to your budget by adding a penny to this fee?
Oh, we didn't do that for budget because I got this increase after we did
No,
our budget.
I don't mean that it's in the budget. I'm just saying, what do you expect this to do for you? How much extra will you likely collect if you add a penny?
I would have to get with Jackie,
Okay.
and I can report that next commissioner's court.
Well, what is the current fee? What are you adding a penny to?
So solid waste currently is 6 cents a pound. If
Okay,
you
so
pay cash or check, and then it'll go up to 7. And if you have a charge account, it's currently 7 cents, and it'll go up to 8 cents a pound
Okay, so you're talking about a 15% increase or something like that.
to cover the 15.9 I have incurred. Correct.
Thanks.
Any further discussion? If not, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item 15,
Move
A
to
discussion.
approve the order number 026/2022. Setting fees for service such as services of process, orders of retrieval and conducting sale provided by the Aransas County Sheriff's Department and or Aransas County Constables, which shall go into effect on January 1st, 2023 and continue until further order from the Commissioner's Court.
I'll second that.
motion made and seconded.
Sheriff, I have a question on this.
I think this is the one I was thinking of, that there was one number highlighted. Maybe it was one of the constable's fees that was changing, but maybe you can clarify for us if there was more than one.
I think there's just the one on the justice courts and small claims. The increase represents a 28% additional amount.
That
and
was submitted by the constables, not
I
sheriff's
saw that.
office. Okay,
My understanding is the reason that's went up is the surrounding counties.
I've done the
All the
same.
counties around us are at that fee. We're much cheaper than any of the counties around us on the same fee as far as serving papers and things like that.
And when these fees are collected, do they go into the general fund?
yes, ma'am. They'll come back to the court, county clerk or the district clerk's office for the fees for service that we conduct. I did not request an increase in any fees. Didn't compare them to what other people were making off of it. I was more concerned about controlling costs in the county.
Thank you, Sheriff. And Commissioner Casterline.
Item,
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
aye, unanimous. 16,
I move to approve and authorize the county judge to sign the Texas Association of Counties Liability Renewal Agreement and Questionnaire for Plan Year 2023.
Second.
motion made and seconded. Commissioner Casterline, any discussion?
I have a question. Is this for Linda?
No, this would be our office.
Oh, okay. So in the questionnaire, under item number 3 for law enforcement liability, under juvenile, we're showing we have one full-time juvenile employee for the year 2023. And I thought we had added a second juvenile case manager.
We did.
We did.
This is juvenile probation office. It is not the juvenile case manager.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Casterline, excuse me, Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. 17,
I move to authorize solicitation of requests for proposals for outside auditor and authorize the county judge to sign all necessary documents.
I'll second that.
motion made and seconded. Commissioner Cheney, any discussion?
I gather from the staff memo, our current auditor is retiring, so we've got to find somebody new.
Yes, ma'am. We have plenty of time if we can get this rolling and get it through. We did have another option. They did recommend a auditor that was taking over his employees and his accounts and stuff. Feel like it's probably a better deal for us to go ahead and do an RFP and see what's out there. We've got about 10 companies now that we're going to solicit.
Is the group that's taking over his practice among those 10 that we're going to solicit?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. 18,
I move to approve a budget line item transfer from the county auditor office salary line to the county attorney office salary line for funding the contract procurement specialist position and authorize the county judge to sign the transfer.
Second.
motion made and seconded. Commissioner Casterline, Any discussion?
Jackie, could you tell me what the annual salary of this position is and what group step?
It's a 17.1. Annual salary is 43.9. That is just the salary. That's not including benefits. We are just transferring what will be take care of this year out of our budget because it was originally budgeted here, but the full amount is budgeted in 23.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Lombard.
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Item 20,
Move to-
19.
no, 19, I'm sorry.
Move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign the nationwide application for group flexible purchase payment deferred fixed indexed annuity contract, non-participating form.
I'll second that.
Motion made, second Commissioner Russo. Any discussion?
Linda, I just have a quick question. Is this a new fund that Nationwide is going to offer?
This is a protection fund for the funds that employees invest that they're offering. Employees can participate or not participate if they want to.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Lombard.
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Unanimous.
Move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign the Walgreens Community Offsite Clinic agreement covering the administration of an immunization at the county's annual employee health fair.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Motion made and second Commissioner Laubach. Any discussion? Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Lombard.
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Item 21.
I move to approve paying for immunizations at the annual Aransas County Employee Health Fair for employees not covered by health insurance. Estimated cost of $1,500 has already been budgeted from the healthcare sales tax fund.
Second.
Motion made and second Commissioner Laubach. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Lombard.
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Can
Aye.
I ask a quick question? I didn't know we had any employees. I thought health insurance was automatic. Is some decline
This
it or?
would cover part-time employees.
Item 22.
Move to approve allowing the Healthy County Coordinator, Human Resources Director to spend up to $2,500 of Healthy County and fair funds on incentives and other expenses incurred for the annual Aransas County Employee Health Fair in anticipation of receiving funds back from the Texas Associations of Healthy County Program.
Second.
Motion made and seconded Commissioner Russo.
Now, when's our health fair scheduled?
It's October 21st, I believe. It's the Friday of October. I can't remember if it's 21st or the 22nd. 21st.
All right, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Lombard.
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item 23.
I move
move-
to approve the authorizing the county judge to sign a new users agreement to purchase driver's records and driver record monitoring service with the Department of Public Safety.
Second.
Motion made and seconded Commissioner Casterline. Any discussion?
What is this and what does it do for us?
This allows us to check driver records when the employees come on, if they're supposed to be driving county vehicles.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Lombard.
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. 24.
I move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign the Texas Association of Counties Workers' Compensation Renewal Agreement and Questionnaire for Plan Year 2023.
Second.
Second Commissioner Casterline. Any discussion?
I have a question on the questionnaire. Is this Jackie or is this Linda?
This one's mine.
Okay. It's on the spreadsheet that follows the page that says no changes to optional coverage. And you're updating the list of locations and the number of employees. Admittedly, The first number is a little light, but it looks like for the county courthouse for next year, we're showing an increase of 18 employees in the courthouse. From 80 to 98, is that correct? It's the second from the bottom.
Okay, we're thinking that last year we may have missed some of the open positions. So we're, our count last year, I think, was off. This year it should be right.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
William?
I'll double check our numbers though.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline, Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Unanimous.
Vote to approve budget line item transfer.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Cheney. Any discussion? Roll call. Okay.
We have no other budget line item transfers except for the one we did earlier.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline, Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Item 26.
I move to approve accounts payable and payroll liabilities.
Second.
Motion made, second, Commissioner Cheney. Any discussion?
I did want to bring attention to several items. We do have some equipment that was purchased through Road and Bridge. Both of those pieces of equipment were purchased under a cooperative agreement, so they were already bid out through those. One was an expedition and one was a tractor for mowing. We did have some invoices for J.M. Davidson for Cedar Bio in the amount of $250,355. Those are reimbursable by FEMA. So we will be requesting reimbursement for those.
Jackie, I'm
yes,
sorry,
ma'am.
you were going fast and I was trying to make a note. That 250,000, who was that to? J.M. Davidson?
J.M. Davidson, yes, ma'am.
And for which projects?
Cedar Bio.
Does that include some of the additional amount that was put on for fuel?
Yes, it does. They do have a little bit of it in there, but it is not the complete. This is not the final billing on this. We do still have a couple of more invoices that
Thank
we're
you.
expecting. Grant works for ARPA, we did have some administration on that. Those will be paid through ARPA funds. And then we had a invoice from Teal Construction on the courthouse for $1,123,000. And we did a transfer from the 21 tax note CIP to cover that. So there's another 1.2 million that was transferred to cover that invoice.
All right. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Now's the time for any elected official or department head that has anything to say. Ladies first, come on up. Ms. Sanchez.
I was just letting the judge and commissioners know that we received our accreditation for the public library. And the library has been accredited for over 32 years from the Texas State Library.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. All right.
Hey, good morning. And as the airport manager, I just want to let y'all know, let the members know how pleased I am with the progress that FPS Recovery has made in the last 6 to 8 months. And their subcontractors, Western Steel, the hangar erectors, Gonzalez Construction, whose focus has been the finish out of the large hangar. They've met deadlines. They've worked through bad weather situations. They've been able to work through supply chain shortages, and they've just delivered every single promise that they've made to us so far. So I just want to let you know how happy and pleased I am with the progress that we're making. And I invite all the members to come out and take a look at some of the things that have happened. It's pretty exciting. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to also let you know that Valerie got with us and she anticipates about $100,000 in additional revenue for that penny increase.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, say the number again.
Most of it was relative to increases from where we
From
take it
cor-
from corporate.
Right,
Yes.
it's, yes, the increase was because our fees have increased with Corpus Christi, with us disposing of it over there. But she's anticipating about $100,000 increase.
I wanted to let the court know that on this, on Friday, we're going to have a meeting here from 3 to 5 with the canal communities, county engineer, and some of the current developers. Are going to meet with them and talk about drainage, and just concerns that communities have. It's just going to be an open forum. I've asked Tracy to look at posting an agenda in case commissioners want to be here, but there'll be no action taken or any discussion other than just what questions have come up and what answers we can provide. It ought to be really interesting. We've got several of the communities over there that are concerned about the development that's coming in. They're not against the development by any means, but they want to make sure that they understand the drainage and what's going to do to 188. A couple others, we had invited TxDOT to be here, but they're not available to be here. But I think they're going to brief David and the developer on roads and how how increased drainage from all the developments are going to affect 188 and also 35 Business Road.
Jack, when did you say that was?
It's from 3 to 5 this Friday here in the courtroom.
Thanks.
Any further discussion or announcements? Not, do I have a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Motion made, second, Commissioner Cheney. All those in favor?
Aye.